Hey guys, what's going on? You're new to playing more RuneScape Dragonwild. So let's talk about our XP. 146,000 in attack, woodcutting 380,000, construction 502,000, rune crafting 181,000, mining 2,367,000, artisan 1.68 million, and cooking 71,000. So we've worked on some skills and other ones we haven't really been doing a lot, but you can only do some of them. And basically we're going to be doing something a little bit different today, as we just sort of thought that you potentially might enjoy watching us skill for a little bit and potentially learn a little bit more about the game. Maybe not so much learn, but just I guess where things are. Maybe you haven't been able to reach certain areas in the game. So anyway guys, here it is. So basically we're going to be collecting copper or tin, a little bit of tin. I think there's a little bit out here, I'm not quite sure, just certain areas will have it, but it's going to be primarily copper and it's going to be iron. But there's lots of nodes out here and you're going to want to take advantage of this. We've got lodestones placed all over the place, and some of it's because there's a lot of high level creatures out here who could easily kill you, so you'll be able to get back to your body a lot faster. And this is actually my favorite place to hunt for fleece and all the different resources that these creatures are going to be dropping. Right, lots of different furs, and the lightning can be quite a bit irritating, but it's not going to kill you unless you're potentially in combat with a creature, and at that point maybe you get killed by the lightning, but that would be sort of rare. But you're going to find wolves out here in the dark. I don't necessarily like to hunt out here in the dark, but I do like to come out here when I'm trying to get wool and get our ram horns and all their hides as well. So there's a lot of different things out here. This is sort of a dangerous area, it can be, but I noticed too when you teleport from a lodestone to another lodestone, you're going to find like herds of these animals. So another thing worth noting is you can sort of leave an area just by running away and come back, and potentially more sheep and ram might respawn. But you can see here, I'm just getting loads of this fur, we're getting a fleece, getting iron, we're getting just lots of animal hide. So this is a great area to farm for these materials, potentially if you need these for anything. Not quite sure what you're doing in the game, but hopefully you're enjoying your time. And basically it's just loaded with iron ore. We actually still want to place more lodestones out here because there's iron ore that we don't have lodestones near. But basically you're going to go back to your base if your inventory's full. You also have your storage chest, but obviously when you kill all these creatures and get in this iron ore, it's going to take up a lot of space in your inventory, as you've got lots of animal bones, all the different furs, potentially even fangs if you're killing the wolves, which we didn't run into a lot. As I stated before, I don't like to hunt out there at night, as you're going to get hunted more by all the different creatures, and you've got the ones that can poison you, the Guru shamans, and you've got those giant berserker guys with their shields. So right now we're sort of just trying to make some artisan potions, because we're not just skilling in the highlands in this video, we're also trying to basically work on an artisan a little bit, and we misplaced our potions, so we just got to make a little bit more, because now we're going to be turning all those hides into materials. So obviously if you wanted, you could use your spell to make your potions a little bit faster. It's like the furnace spell. But I'm noticing I'm also getting extremely disorganized in the game the longer I play, as I do have things in a way that could make it organized, but it's just a lot. Honestly, all the times I'm skilling and just coming back and having to run to each different chest, so I've placed some right by my teleport pad because I don't want to keep running everywhere. And if you notice on the back wall over there, we've got our giant baskets full of wool, and we've also got our cloth boxes. But anyways, yeah, so basically out here when you're hunting, I mean, it's just so full of these creatures, but you're definitely going to want to use your portal. And as you can see here, I turn it back to day because it seems like they're also more prominent when it is daytime. So there's just tons out here. So if you haven't had a chance, which I'm sure most of you have, this is just a great place to essentially farm these resources, and you're going to get lots of iron, lots of copper, and just a very minimal amount of tin out here. But if you haven't placed lodestones, I definitely recommend it. I mean, look at all these creatures I can kill for hides. I like to use arrows because the sheep like to run, so I don't really want to have to chase them, as sometimes your energy depletes, and it would just make it quite difficult to have to chase a sheep all around the valley, potentially even aggroing other creatures that then you'll have to deal with, which would be unfortunate because they usually hunt in packs. So we're just trying to take advantage of all the different ores that we see that we can grab, but as you can see, teleporting with the pads obviously really helps because these creatures sort of respawn in different areas, and it's sort of, I guess it's probably built into the game as a mechanism that once you leave this one area that you've been in and those creatures are dead, potentially others will respawn. But that's pretty much all I can say about this, right? There's not much lot to talk about. It's just sort of straightforward, and if you've got access to lots of lodestones, I definitely recommend placing them out here. Try to find areas that aren't going to be too dangerous, as you don't want to put yourself into potential danger, even though you've got lodestones to recover your body. It's just, if you're trying to be efficient in a game, then you don't really want to have to deal with all this all the time. And these guys are ridiculous, so we're not even going to try to fight him, but I don't know. But anyways, so we've sort of touched base on that, and we're going to show you a couple other things we did. We obviously went through all of our clay ore, and we've got our base set up here. I don't know why, but all these resources just sort of fall on the ground down here, but it's not the end of the world. We just want to make sure your artisan potion's active and come down here and collect these resources. So it's quite a bit of XP, and that's pretty much all I can really say about the Storm Highlands, because there's just a great amount of things you can do out there. So if you haven't really spent a lot of time there, I would recommend it if you're trying to go for certain materials. So this is us just taking all of our clay from that gigantic pile and then turning it into tons of XP. I would have to say I probably got close to upwards to 350,000 artisan XP from doing this. And basically you're just going to be taking all these clay pots and the unfurnace ones and putting them inside here, and you can actually see I've got all these planks. That's because at one point I turned off the game and they were all still in there trying to do their thing, which is kind of an unfortunate thing, because if you happen to log off, then you'll have to go restart all these so that they will keep doing their thing. But we've just got mass amounts of resources, but that's okay, because ultimately when the game comes up with updates or it comes out with new skills, I believe Mithril is going to be, if it's sticking to the original RuneScape route, it would be needing a lot of coal. Mithril ore and 4 coal, and in that case I've got about 25,000 coal, so I think I should be pretty much good there. And the clay pots, if they ever come out with Hublo, I've probably got about 18,000 clay pots, maybe, give or take, right? Maybe not quite 18,000, but it doesn't matter. Like, I've just sort of got myself in a good situation for that. But as you can see here, we've got more stuff on the ground. I don't really know why it goes to the floor, but it's not really a big deal. That's why we've created this sort of ladder to come down here and collect all these resources to make sure we're getting all of our XP to be efficient. But anyways, this is pretty much how we navigate the game when we play. I mean, we just sort of try to focus on one thing for a minute and just be efficient with it, and then sometimes we die because warbands come to our base, but ultimately that is pretty much it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this and maybe potentially sort of got an insight, or just maybe realized, oh, I should be doing this, and that's quite a bit of XP, so I think I'm going to start doing that. And hopefully we can provide more tips in the future on different things in the game. But we enjoy the content, we enjoy the game, and we enjoy making content for you guys. So, and also if you haven't had a chance and you wanted to, if you want to subscribe or even send out a like, we'd really appreciate it. But by the end of this video, which we're not going to show you, all of this is gone, all the clay, because it's just too much XP to sit there potentially as well, because they might actually change the XP rates in the game. And you can see with the artisan potion, you're going to get an extra 450 XP when you're doing 50 clay into the unfurnace clay pots. So anyway guys, thanks for watching, and we appreciate all of you and all of your watches and time spent on our channel.